What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I am JD from New York, and I'm bringing you the latest in WWE news and rumors. Two big follow-up stories off the top, starting with Retribution. We talked about Retribution at the end of yesterday's Off the Script Extra, and we talked about how Dominik Dijakovic and Dio Madden were more than likely in Retribution on Monday's attack on the Mysterios. And now we may have the opportunity to identify the other members on Monday Night Raw that attacked Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio. This comes from Reddit. Reddit is now identifying Monday's attackers, as you see in the photo right here on screen. Kayden Carter, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne, Dominik Dijakovic, and Dio Madden, like we talked about on OTS Extra yesterday, and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green has been already rumored for the faction. Nobody knows why. And this, like I said, was floating around on Reddit, where all the truth is found nowadays. But this is Retribution as of Monday Night Raw and the attack on Dominik and Rey Mysterio. I've been saying this for weeks. I don't know what WWE has planned for Retribution. Clearly, it's got people's interest. But you look at who is rumored for this faction, Mia Yim. Why would Mia Yim make any sense in Retribution when her boyfriend, Keith Lee, just got called up to the main roster? Keith Lee is fighting for the greater good. He's battling Randy Orton. He's sticking up for his friend Drew McIntyre. Yet Mia Yim, Keith Lee's girlfriend, is now seeking retribution against WWE for what? What would be the reason for that and her inclusion in this group? Shane Thorne, what has Shane Thorne done in WWE? Or better yet, what has WWE done to Shane Thorne that he needs to rebel against WWE? Kayden Carter, everybody that I'm mentioning here doesn't really make any sense. Kayden Carter and Shane Thorne, especially being that Kayden Carter has only had a cup of coffee in NXT. Shane Thorne really isn't a big presence on NXT. Dominik Dijakovic, we don't know. Dio Madden, what is the reason why he is in Retribution? Was he upset that he got booted off the Monday Night Raw commentary team? I don't know. Maybe Brock Lesnar. Maybe he's trying to get back at WWE for allowing Brock Lesnar to put him or F5 him through the table. Last time we seen Dio Madden on Monday Night Raw. Chelsea Green seems to be the only one that makes any sense here, because Chelsea Green is engaged to Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder got fired by the WWE. So she makes sense to be in Retribution. But at the end of the day, the majority of the names here don't make any sense. At the end of the day, is WWE going to give you a legit reason why any of this makes sense? At the end of the day, are these names still going to be the names associated with Retribution? Like I said on yesterday's Off the Script, I doubt WWE has any plans moving forward for Retribution. I doubt WWE even knows who they want in Retribution. Let me know what you guys think about this picture down below. Are you okay with these names? How would you make sense of it? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what you think of the rumors found on Reddit in regards to who is under the masks in Retribution. The other big follow-up story I have for you guys today is Keith Lee literally burning the internet community down to the ground with his debut on Monday Night Raw, and everybody going crazy because WWE got rid of his NXT theme music. So much so that people actually went to complain directly to Keith Lee on social media. Look at this Twitter exchange between Keith Lee and a couple of fans after Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee was bombarded with messages, so he took to Twitter to say this, and I quote, "Music is out of my hands, period. Leave it be. I'll sort it out later." And then someone obviously replied to him and said, "All right, let's talk about that ring gear then." So Keith Lee took the time out of his day to quote tweet this clown and say this: leave it be and have some patience. Yes, folks, have patience with Vince McMahon pulling from NXT and changing what we fell in love with in NXT. Yes, please, have some patience, Mr. Lee. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. I promise. Let me handle that stuff. And then somebody else said, you didn't have to answer and explain why. Can't wait for you to tear it up. So obviously somebody sucking that dick and ass kissing. So clearly he replies to this and says, and I quote, "Of course I don't have to. I don't owe anyone an explanation. It's simply my way of showing respect to the people who have supported me. I don't want people caught up on small things when what should be acknowledged is my debut. I mixed it up with Orton. Way bigger deal." Now, I don't want to say that the music is not a big deal, because it absolutely is. As is his debut against Randy Orton. That was already botched. I don't know why anybody is claiming that's a big deal. He lost. He lost the match because Drew McIntyre came and attacked Randy Orton after the 2 punt kicks that Randy Orton delivered to Drew McIntyre earlier in the show. So Keith Lee's debut, yeah, he was on Raw. Yeah, he was in the ring with Randy Orton. Yes, he's in a major title program with the WWE Champion and the #1 contender, Randy Orton, if you even want to call him that at this stage of the game. But he lost. They gave you 4 minutes of Lee and Orton on Monday night and expected you to be interested in this match again on Sunday at Payback. WWE gave you what should have been 2 months of build between these two guys in 3 hours. And we're getting a pay-per-view match based off what we've seen in that ring on Monday night. Now, I know Keith Lee is a genuine human being. I know Keith Lee is a respectful human being. And I love the way he approached this. He did not have to reply, but he did anyway. But at the end of the day, we all care about Keith Lee. We are all concerned. WWE has a track record of ruining things that we fell in love with in NXT, and we don't want that same thing to happen to Keith Lee. I hope he understands that. I really hope he understands that, and I hope he understands everybody's stance on this. There's no reason to change his music. There's no reason to change his ring attire. There's no reason to change anything about Keith Lee, pulling him from NXT and putting him on Monday Night Raw. Absolutely nothing. Now, we found out the reason why Keith Lee's music was changed, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it has anything to do with CFOs. I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bullshit story, but me personally, do not believe it. Because WWE is using CFO music with other superstars on the main roster, so why wouldn't they be able to use Keith Lee's music? Shayna Baszler's music is CFOs. Braun Strowman's music is CFOs. Asuka's music is CFOs. Sonya Deville's music is CFOs. I'm sure Mandy Rose's music is CFOs. Bianca Belair's music is CFOs. What about the Street Profits? They're CFOs as well. So you mean to tell me that the excuse we're using is because CFOs is not affiliated with the WWE anymore? They're having problems with their publisher. That's the reason? I don't buy it. Because you're still using CFO's licensed WWE music. You own the rights to that music. Soon as Keith Lee went into their studio and they made music for Keith Lee, that's WWE's copyrighted music. They own that music. That's from what I understand. Based on everybody else that still has their music, I don't get why this is an issue. Honestly. What I think is the issue is Vince wants to take from NXT and feel the need to change. What was the reason? Why do you need to change something that obviously is good? Why, it doesn't fit the look that you want for Keith Lee? Why, it's too rap? Why does everybody have to have the same type of theme music? Why does he need to wear a shirt? Why do you need to change him And his ring attire. Did he look too indie for you? It works. NXT is a legit third brand in WWE. They are doing what they have to do to get everybody ready for the main roster. They're not coming off as an indie promotion. Everything that they're doing down there and everything that they're cultivating down there is and should be main roster. The only difference is, and the only difference that should be, is the audience from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. But everything that he's done down there and everything that Adam Cole has done down there should be taken and placed on the main roster with absolutely no change. Because what you're getting is somebody that's main roster ready with main roster credentials. I don't understand why I need to get upset about this to really explain it to you people. This is why we're upset. This is why we're upset. Jesus Christ. The best analogy I could use is Metallica going from And Justice for All to the Black Album. And then the Black Album to Load and Reload. So on and so forth. Black Album was great. Load and Reload were fucking disasters. Nobody enjoyed that type of Metallica. There was no reason for them to change. None. They lost every ounce of credibility, and the only thing that people still go back and listen to is what they did when they did things right. We don't want to have that happen with Keith Lee. We don't want to go back and watch Keith Lee in NXT and remember, oh man, look at Keith Lee. Look at what could have been. We want to watch Keith Lee then, we want to watch Keith Lee now, the same Keith Lee that we watched then, now, and we want to see him grow and make new memories for us fans. Theme music is important. I'm not buying the CFO story. I appreciate Keith Lee coming out and showing true character and being a genuine human being, answering these people with respect. But my God, man, something needs to change. And apparently, Keith Lee is getting theme music at Payback. He's getting an updated theme song with lyrics at Payback on Sunday in his match against Randy Orton, because this new theme led to complaints everywhere on social media because his previous one fit like a glove. And then WWE limited the Limitless one on Monday night in his debut, and they stripped him of his personality and his identity. So excuse me for being upset when we know something is special and WWE takes that something special and ruins it right before our very eyes, leaving you to wonder why we even invest in anything Triple H and William Regal are doing in NXT. This is important. It doesn't need to change. Stop changing shit just to fit your own agenda. Speaking of Payback, there are 4 confirmed matches for the card thus far. The Universal title match, which I will rant about come Friday on SmackDown because we're getting a contract signing between the big dog, Roman Reigns, who returned at SummerSlam, Braun Strowman, who clearly does not deserve another shot at the Universal Championship, and Bray Wyatt, who is buried. The Fiend, buried. Or will be buried at some point in the next month or so while we get the title off of him and onto Roman. So I'll rant about that on Friday. And then we got Keith Lee versus Randy Orton, the United States title, the women's tag team title. So we got a couple of matches lined up for Payback. There are several more matches that are expected for the card, but WWE has also laid the groundwork for those matches. Now, Bayley and Sasha will defend against Nia and Shayna Baszler. Like I said, Wyatt, Strowman, Reigns, triple threat for the Universal Championship. Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley because they had an arm wrestling contest on Monday Night Raw. Nothing sells a United States Championship match better than an arm wrestling contest, says Vince McMahon. Randy Orton versus Keith Lee after the 4-minute botch that we got on Raw. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles is not confirmed, but rumored. Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin. I shall not call him King Corbin. That obviously is in production right now. The groundwork is laid for that. Big E versus Sheamus, that's also rumored, and the groundwork for that has been laid. And then on Raw, we've seen Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black, also rumored for the show after what happened on the KO show. This doesn't really scream pay-per-view to me, and I don't know why WWE can't build up Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Fox like mini pay-per-views and give them some sort of importance or some sort of theme going into the next couple of weeks. Why do we need another 3.5-hour pay-per-view on Sunday? You know, I'm tired. I'm tired of shitty creative. I'm tired of coming on here and talking about all this nonsensical fucking logic gap-ridden garbage by my good old buddy Bruce. And by the looks of this card, folks, the only reason why this show is happening is because of Roman. They do it for Roman, I'm not surprised. Roman and the tag team title situation between Bayley and Sasha Banks. So you're giving us another 3.5-hour pay-per-view to sell us and further 2 storylines. Why can't this be done on Monday and Friday night? More bad news for Sonya Deville as she has received more threatening messages from additional anonymous creeps on social media. The court case against Philip Thomas II continues, and court documents reveal Sonya Deville has also had to deal with other potential threats from other people. Now, Heel by Nature obtained a copy of a court filing that reveals Sonya, aka Daria Berenato, and her ex-girlfriend, Ariana Johnson, both qualify as being a victim or witness at risk of harm. The court documents note that the messages that were sent identify Deville's street address and characteristics of her residence. The messages also identify members of Deville's family, which is downright fucking scary. Both victims have requested confidentiality under the law, obviously. Deville's lawyers asked for evidence that reveals evidence that identifies her home address and family members to be sealed from the public, obviously, for reasons you already know. According to the filing, Johnson was threatened by Thomas for her association with Deville, and the court has granted the motion because Deville has been receiving additional threats from unknown people on social media. Deville says that she's received additional anonymous messages that state, "I'll finish the job that Philip started," and one that was stated to say, "My knife is sharper than Philip's." This is fucking crazy, man. Honestly, I feel for this woman. God knows what she's going through. And you guys wonder, there were people crying about her going away and leaving, or losing rather, a loser leaves WWE match. Folks, she's not going anywhere. She's got personal, life-threatening situations to take care of here. She's a public figure that is scared for her life. Let her do what she needs to do. She will be back. Seriously, this is a scary situation, and I will keep you guys updated on whatever happens as far as developments go in her court case. Sonya Deville, like I said, is not going anywhere. She may be getting a new gimmick and a new name change. WWE posted a video on their social media sites following SummerSlam and her loss to Mandy Rose. Per the stipulation, Deville has to leave the WWE, but the video on their social media and their YouTube account hint at Deville coming back under a different name. She said the following after she was asked what is next for her, and the reporter or the interviewer called her Sonya, and she said this, and I quote, "Do not call me that ever again." So we may be looking at Daria Berenato in WWE as she's shedding the Sonya Deville character. Or maybe she comes back under a new alias. I don't know. So, like I said, she will be back. She's taking the rest of the year, I'm assuming, off from WWE television. And this brings us to a possible situation where she shows back up, where everybody shows up after taking an extended period of time off, and that is the Royal Rumble. Imagine Sonya Deville on the biggest run of her young career right now, having to go away for reasons that she cannot control, only to come back and rise above all, win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania, and win the SmackDown Women's Championship. It is a possibility. It certainly is a possibility. So we will see what happens with that. WWE actually also removed, just to sell the fact that she's gone, WWE removed Deville from their active roster following her loss at Summerslam. As you guys see there, she's now listed in the alumni section with superstars from the past. Man, look at the group of people that she's lumped with here. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump is there, Simon Gotch, Psycho Sid. You even got fucking Skinner and Slick. The Reverend Slick is there. Wow, that's some good company for Sonya Deville. Now, like I said, this is clearly not legitimate. She will be back, but WWE is playing up the storyline that she really is leaving the WWE, and WWE wants everybody to believe that Sonya is gone. She obviously is taking care of some personal shit. She will be back, folks. Not with Slick or Skinner, though, but she will be back on WWE television, and I do believe that when she does return, things will pick up right where she left them, and that is a huge run in that women's division. I think it's pretty common knowledge now that Renee Young is no longer with the WWE. SummerSlam was her last night with the company, and she finally released an official statement on her WWE departure via Instagram. This is what she said, and I quote, "This November would mark 8 years. 8 years in the WWE. It honestly hasn't even felt like that long for Renee Young, but it was 8 years. An opportunity of a lifetime with a global company to learn, grow, make history, and do things beyond my wildest dreams before I left Toronto for this adventure. I made friends, family, literally family. I met my husband here. What a fucking dreamboat he is. The AEW World Champion, if you guys did not know, Jon Moxley. And people that will be a part of my life forever. I did things I couldn't have even imagined or dreamt up. From backstage interviews, a reality show, talking smack, being the first woman to be a part of the WWE broadcast team in Saudi Arabia, being the first woman to sit at the commentary desk full-time on Monday Night Raw, calling WrestleMania, anchoring a brand new show with Fox, which you guys will still be able to catch me on. I'm assuming that is whatever WWE was doing with FS1. I've been so lucky, but it's also been a lot of my hard work, drive, and passion that's landed me in these amazing spots. I've had such an incredible run with WWE. It changed my life. But that all leads me to now, what's next? Do I stay satisfied with what I've done, or do I go in pursuit of new barriers and goals in mind? I always choose the latter. That's my type of woman right there. I have no idea what that means or looks like, but it's time for me to go. Time to roll the dice again and shake things up. Time to light that fire again and forge on. Time to say bye to Renee Young and reconnect with Renee Paquette. And remember why I started this journey to begin with. And as the ride slows down, as the world slows down, I see it as my opportunity to make a move. So I just want to say thanks to WWE and to all the fans that have been so damn cool to me over the years, and send a crap ton of love to all of my people. I'm excited for the future. Thanks for everything. Heart emoji. I absolutely love Renee Young, and I'm sure we will see her eventually be elite. That's just my take there, but I wish her nothing but the best in anything that she does, and she has a legion of fans ready to follow her no matter where she goes. And finally, guys, Samoa Joe. I got news on Samoa Joe's potential return to Monday Night Raw, but more importantly, Samoa Joe is actually going to be voicing Sharkman in the new Suicide Squad's video game. One of the biggest reveals over the weekend that came via video games is Rocksteady's new game, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. The game comes from the developers of the critically acclaimed Arkham series, which I absolutely loved. And now we are in the know on one of the voice actors playing Sharkman, which is WWE superstar Samoa Joe. Joe will be voicing King Shark, half man, half creature, on the Suicide Squad team. As the title might suggest, the focus of the game will see a group of villains attempt to kill DC's greatest group of heroes, the Justice League, which sounds very interesting. And if the gameplay is just like the Arkham series, sign me up. Now, as far as Samoa Joe's return to the ring on Monday Night Raw, Dave Meltzer says this, and I quote, "Probably not in regards to his in-ring career being over. Probably not, but for now, he does such a great job with announcing, and he's had a lot of concussions, but for now, he's doing this. I know that when he first did the announcing, and of course things changed, I was told it was temporary because he's too valuable of a talent to have him as an announcer, but obviously minds change, and this is WWE, shit changes by the second there. But obviously minds change from when I was told that to when they decided to revamp it, and he's a great announcer. In theory, he's supposed to wrestle again, but who knows? He may get involved with the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Aleister Black situation, so we don't know. Or I'm not really the Seth Rollins, Aleister Black situation. I pitched Aleister Black to maybe join the greater good and join Rollins now that he somehow turned heel on Monday night, leaving Kevin Owens to form a combination with his old partner Samoa Joe, which I pitched way back when they were on Monday Night Raw following the Path of Tag Team Championship Gold, challenging Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy for those tag team titles at WrestleMania when things were normal. It's a whole spiel. You guys know what I'm talking about if you listened back in the day. But I do think that Samoa Joe could end up joining Kevin Owens again in some sort of feud with Seth Rollins. So we will see what happens. I think Samoa Joe would fit into any role WWE puts him in, especially in the ring. He's such a versatile talent. He's amazing at what he does. He's great on the mic, one of the best that they have in that entire company. I would love to see Samoa Joe back in the ring, but it's got to make sense. And I would not fuck a good thing up with him on commentary. Him on commentary clearly makes the broadcast team on Raw that much better. That's how much of a good job he is doing in that role. Guys, I'm getting the hell out of here. I will be back on Friday with more OTS. Don't know what we're going to be discussing, but there's a lot of Roman Reigns news. There's a lot of Thunderdome news. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about in regards to what happened at SummerSlam and what came out of SummerSlam. So make sure you guys tune in to that. And I will be right back here all weekend long. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. And if you missed any of the content on the channel already this week, go and check it out. Links for all the playlists are linked down below. Guys, have a good one, and I will see you right back here with more on Off the Script.